Yo, what's going on, guys? Happy Friday. I go by Drigo. If you don't know me, I run a video production agency here in South Florida where I help business owners and brands create video content to help generate leads. And this is just my weekly series where I just really just talk about what's been happening in my business. No glams, no fancy stuff, just really reflecting on what's been happening. So, where do I start? All right, so I guess I'll give you guys a business update on where I am currently in business. So right now, currently up to this date, we've done about $19,000 in business. And I kind of feel like I had a slow beginning of the year, as you guys might already know that. I was off the first 2 weeks of the year, traveling, and just kind of took me a while to just kind of get the balls rolling. Now, of course, not all 19,000 of that is profit, but it's pays my crew, and I'm making a living out of it. So the goal is still to do 300,000 by the end of the year. So I definitely had to start putting some things into consideration, and just reflecting on that. The third part of the call I did with Chris Doe, Needy, and Mo is also live on either LinkedIn, not LinkedIn, on Spotify or iTunes. If you guys haven't checked it out, we kind of talk about just the whole feeling burned out thing, and just choosing the right path as either a creative or entrepreneur, and how we kind of go sideways and when things start to get tough. So when the call happened, we always get this momentum of what we're talking about and what we should be doing. But as the weeks fade away, you kind of start to forget about those things just because we start getting into the day-to-day life and we start getting back into the grind of our business. So it's kind of cool to be able to listen back to the call today and kind of just reflect and just kind of call myself out of my own bullshit of like, what am I doing to get a 300,000? Because right now I feel like I'm doing the same shit I've been doing last year. Now, some things have been different in the sense of like, I turned down a $4,000 project this week just because the client just seemed really difficult. And I think I talked about him on the last call, and actually try giving this client to somebody that I'm going to start training, just kind of give them the experience and just kind of see, maybe it didn't work out for me, but maybe it could work out for somebody. But, reflecting back on the call today, because I listened to all three episodes today, and saying yes to that $4,000 project is me telling myself no to other opportunities. So just being able to like ground myself on that, because right now Chris wants my minimum level of engagement to be $10,000, which is just crazy to think, because we've probably done a couple 10 and $15,000 projects, but it's not something that we happen all the time. Most of our projects really fall between that $3,000 to $5,000 mark, and then once in a while some TV commercials, other bigger projects to come around eight or so. But, just being able to reflect on that, it just, I don't know, it's kind of cool. It just really helps me to, like I said, put some certain things back into perspective. I am starting to feel burnt out again. And I think that's just because I've been just kind of in the mix. Like I said, I feel like I've been doing the same exact thing as I was doing the previous year. Like, I got a project, I started working on it, I stopped generating leads, and I wasn't making enough money yet to be able to bring on the team of people that I was working with in the past. So like, I'm still editing the same projects, and I'm still dealing with the clients and revisions, and that whole process just leaves me burned out because I still have to do all these other things in my business. And that's just something of the realization of like, I guess, reflecting that I need to change my mindset of telling myself that I'm feeling burnt out and that I have to do these things. And I did an episode earlier this week with my buddy Caleb, that's going to be dropping. We kind of touch base on entrepreneurship, but like, this is the cost of entrepreneurship. I was having to do all the hard things that we necessarily don't want to do, dealing with all the things that other people don't want to do. So like, operations, cash flow, all these different things is the cost of being an entrepreneur. And the sooner that you fall in love with doing that process, the sooner you're going to be at getting better at your business and really seeing that scale of momentum move for you. But it's tough because like, we're only humans and we're only able to do so much before feeling like we're not getting the instant gratification. So yes, I stopped doing lead gen. And then on top of that, I kind of messed up with a client I've been nurturing. I ended up sending them a rough draft to a project that I had some misspellings on, and really just made me feel stupid because, in a sense, I've been nurturing this client for about 3 to 4 weeks now, and I sent them a rough draft with a thumbnail image that had the misspelling on. It wasn't misspelling. I copy and pasted what the client sent over, and somehow I ended up copying one of the words twice. But the way that I saw it is like, wow, this guy just sent me a rough draft to a project with misspelling on. On top of that, I sent that same project to my actual client. I'm just like, man, I really hope my client doesn't feel the same way I feel about myself for even sending this. It's not that, I guess, careless, but I think being able to slow down and really start looking at my work a little bit deeper and making sure that, like, I guess, like right now, I just want to get things going and I want to get the projects that I have on board, like, done, so I can really focus on hitting my goals. And at the same time, I need to realize that I need to take a step back. I really need to start delivering excellence with the clients that I have to be able to level those up into doing bigger projects. What else do I have here? Met up with. Okay, did that. The other thing I've been doing is just documenting my process. I've been working on. I've been using Notion to create templates of everything that we're doing, just to be able to, when we're actually bringing on new people, that we have a system in place. And I think Notion has been probably the best one. Like, I used to have Google Docs, I used to do the Dropbox, all that stuff, and it just became very complicated. So now being able to use Notion and have one SOP for all the different things that we do, that has been really helpful. We also are bringing on a VA. I'm finding a VA is a virtual assistant, and that's going to be helping my sister to do some of those little things so I can start to free up her time so she can really help me do bigger things. And I'm really starting with small increments just because, like, versus me waiting for us to get busy and try to do those things, right now my mindset is like, let me start putting all these things in place. So when you are busy, I have the time. Well, when I don't have the time, I don't have to deal with all that stuff. And that's where normally what I've been guilty of is, like, I start working on projects and start to try to get things going. And as soon as I get super busy, all those other things that are on my priority list, they just go, out the drain or out the door. So right now, that while I am slow, I'm really trying to set my SOPs in place. Okay, so another thing, following up with what I mentioned about kind of burning that lead that I had, something I want you guys to do is wait to send your emails. And what I mean by that is, you can go, if you're using like Gmail right now, what you're actually able to do is put a timer that when you hit send, Gmail will wait whatever amount of minutes you want to send that email. So my occasion right now, I have it set for 5 minutes. So let's say I send an email to a client, or like I send a project to a client, and then he sends me back some like stupid ass revisions. And I'm like, oh my God, what a fucking idiot. So I'm like emailing him back. I'm just like, hey, I think your decisions are dumb. Then I send that. Not the best look, but in the heat of the moment, as creatives, we get upset. So having those 5 minutes, that email was not sent yet. So I'm able to kind of save my ass. So you can even call it your save your ass email scheduler. And then something else is just take a second to read your emails as the person receiving them on the other end, and to make sure that what you're saying is coming off correct. Make sure that what you're saying is coming out neutral. And because I've been frustrated, and I think that comes with, like, feeling burnt out. I don't think you're as joyful in life. So you react to things very differently than when you are in a very great mood. So, like, I got snappy with my sister this week, and like I wasn't happy about it. And looking back at it, like, I regret how I acted towards her, but like I am stressed. So with stress, I think comes, anger and those different things. So making sure that you're in a good place when you're replying to people, I think is something super important, especially when you're in a business that you want to be here for the long haul. So what else I wrote down? Feeling burnt out. Yeah, so same thing. I'm still in the mix, editing projects. I haven't done any lead gens just yet. I kind of stopped doing it, and it's something I know I need to do. And I'm pretty much the I'm in my own way, and I'm realizing that, and that's something that I really want to work on this week. Um, so we hired VA, and then the only other thing I have here is just reflecting back on my call with Chris. And if you guys haven't heard of that call, I highly recommend it. I think there's some really great insights on there, just for entrepreneurship and just for following and finding your own path. Um, because we do have goals, but it just s- what are we doing to achieve those goals? Like I said, I feel like I am still in the same process of doing the same thing I've done in the past years. I think the biggest thing right now is that we do have some systems in place. I am saying no to smaller projects, or I'm actually giving those projects out to other people, and just kind of charging a commission fee on those, or referral fees, just so I'm not doing them. And I think that's the smallest changes. But I don't think I'm making big. I'm not making enough changes just yet for me to hit $300,000. And that's it. Today I shot some cars for one of my clients, something I haven't done in a long time, but one of the girls that works for me, she was sick, so I had to go in and cover for her, and that's just part of entrepreneurship. Is like when you own the business and your client needs stuff done, like you just got to get it done. So let me read some of the comments here. That's my goal for the year two. Awesome, Alex. Also, thanks for helping me. Alex was one of my. He helped me with one of my shoots I did about 2 weeks ago over in Orlando. Really appreciate your help. Uh, my goal is just to make some money. 10, 20, 30 would be a dream. It's possible, man. Like honestly, 20, even $30,000 to make in a year, or even like it's not a lot of money. I guess that's something else. So the project that I turned down for $4,000, so what ended up happening, I talked to the guy. I was like, listen, and like I said, he seemed like somebody that was gonna be a lot to deal with. So I emailed him back, and versus telling him no, which this is something else you guys want to do, versus telling the client no, just charge him more money. So he told me he had $3,000 to do this project. I told him it was going to be $5,000 for me to do it. And he's like, that's out of my budget. I was like, fine. So it's me not telling them no. I'm just telling them that if you want me to do this project, it's going to be 5 grand. So instead, I was like, hey, listen, I got a freelancer that works for me. He might be the perfect person for this project, and he might actually fit your budget. So for the guy that's starting to work for me, his average projects for now were around $500. So for him, a $3,000 project was a lot. So I kind of coached him throughout the way, and they're having discussions. He went and met up with the guy, and when it came down to it, they agreed to a $3,000 project, but the guy did not want to pay him a 50% deposit to start the project. And he's like, I think I'm gonna do it. I was like, dude, do not work with a business owner that does not have $1,500 to pay you for you to come out and shoot 2 videos for them. And plus, like the guy already made you drive down there to go look at his warehouse, and now he's over here trying to hackle you about $1,500 to shoot him 2 videos. I'm like, you're right now, you're just dodging a bullet. I was like, don't work with this guy. And he really wanted the opportunity. And I understand because I've been there. When you're making $500 for video and a $3,000 opportunity comes towards you, like you want to hop on that. But at what cost, right? So like eventually a $4,000 project, it's probably going to eat up so much of his time that it wouldn't be a $4,000 project. It'll end up being another $500 project, but that one took up all of his time. So that's just something I kind of wanted to share. Like, guys, a business owner does not have $1,000 to pay you or doesn't want to pay you a deposit. Just it's not worth your trouble. Um, Jesse, how to know when you are ready to take on clients for money? I am a beginner. Um, Genesis, I think that's her name. It's start off by offering free work. I think what everybody should do is start off by do 5 free videos, and for those 5 free videos, ask for 5 testimonials and ask for 5 referrals. From those people, charge them $500, and then from the next people that you work for, charge 750, and then just go up. That's how I did it. I started off charging 200, then 500, then 1,000, and 1,800, then 3,000, and it really depends on your work. And and this is your thing too, and I've said this in other videos, But guys, if the client already calls you, they already DM'd you, you're already qualified. So act like you already have the job. Don't negotiate against yourself. If somebody's already calling you, they already started work, they like you. At that point, it's the only thing you need to do is close that deal. So just ask them, be like, hey, how much would you want to pay for this? Would you have a budget for this project? And then they say they don't, then start with $200, start with $500, start with whatever you feel comfortable with, and then just build up your portfolio and start raising your rates from there. Where's the Gmail feature? Is that something you can set up automatically? Yeah, just do some research. Just I think automatically right now you probably have about like 30 seconds. If you sent out an email in the bottom of the corner, it's gonna ask you to unsend. There's settings for that you can just change and put it to like 5 minutes. So it's kind of your saving grace. So that is gonna be it. I got to shoot tomorrow. I'm doing a non-profit pageant, and this is something that came across from a referral. Like we still do a lot of referral work, so it shows that like the whole thing about like don't burn bridges, deliver excellence. You never know who you might be working with, and then for this occasion, this is a client, a wedding planner that I worked with for weddings, which we don't do weddings anymore. I actually took down the Tosca Weddings website. I closed down the Google My Business listing. So we're not even doing that anymore. But she really liked how we worked. And, she had this nonprofit project. And honestly, it's not a lot. It's like $1,500. But it's 4 hours. I get to train two people. And this is where like I'm looking at opportunities to create for myself, right? So I'm working with two guys tomorrow that I never worked with before, but on a very low risk project, right? So tomorrow's going to be a fast paced event to a certain point. I'm going to get to see how do these guys operate? How do these guys move? At what cost? Like I'm getting to train somebody and I'm getting paid to do it. And that's the way that I'm seeing it. That's the way I'm capitalizing on this certain project. Because like I normally wouldn't do a $1,500 project, but I saw an opportunity to be able to train up my team. So there are opportunities where I tell you guys, like I still do free work. I still take on jobs that pay me less than my minimum, but there's a reason why. It's not just like I'm taking on every single $1,500 project that comes my way. So unless one of the five of you guys watching this right now have any other questions, I'm just gonna close this up. You just wanted to reflect. Thank you guys for watching these. Hope you guys found this helpful. Um, and I just appreciate the love and appreciate you guys just watching the stories. So I will talk to you guys soon. Take care.